What's going on, guys? Fuller here from Custom Offsets TV on YouTube with
Shawn with Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube.
And we got another episode of This or That. So we take your questions that you asked on the last one, plus some other ones that we find, and then Keaton, the guy behind the camera, is going to ask us questions, and we're going to answer them truthfully and honestly, because that's who we are.
CO2 blacked out or K350 whited out?
That's tough.
K350 whited out, because that's actually what I wanted to do, and Banker made me buy the black one because I've been on this whiteout obsession. I don't know if you've ever seen, there's a guy out there that's got a completely whited out Super Duty, and it's hot. I don't want to mention his name because I don't know him, and I think he competes with us. But it's got a really wide stance to it. It's not very lifted. If it's lifted out, it might be leveled, and it's hot. It's pure white. Everything's white out. Headlights are whited out, the whole thing. The blacked out has just been around for so long. Like, I did that in 1997. 1996, I had a blacked out Chevy S10. So to still be blacking stuff out to me is so I'm over it.
That's what I was gonna bring up, is like, I feel like everybody has black and not everybody does white, but I can't keep anything clean. So, although
white stays cleaner, black is a nightmare.
Yeah, because it shows all the dust and all the water spots. So I think I'd probably take the K350 whited out also.
Yeah, let's tell Banker.
Banker!
We're selling the K350, we're getting a white one.
You don't have to sell it, you can just wrap it.
We're giving away...
Oh,
We're not giving it away.
Chrome Hostile Strikers or Chrome Archon Lincolns?
Hustle Striker.
You can't ask me that, I designed the Archon Lincoln. First of all, love you, Hostile Mike. I appreciate the work we did in the past on the Hostile Striker. But I gotta tell you, I think I crushed it on that Lincoln, baby.
Yeah, the Lincoln did go from like...
You picked the Striker?
Yeah, I like the Striker.
Well,
I like
why don't
a little...
you call Mike and see if he's looking for any marketing support?
I like the like a little busier kind of wheel. I like the split spoke design. I wish that they were
not proper
true
directional.
That's what I was gonna say. I wish they were true directional. But the Lincoln for me is just... Everybody loves it because it's so blocky.
So clean.
But I don't like it for that reason.
Yeah, you're just jealous. It's fine.
Yeah,
Jealousy will get you nowhere.
Whatever.
Make sure you give Hostile Mike a call after this interview.
All right. Coilover conversion or regular strut spacers?
Coilover conversion, hands down.
Yeah, there's no...
Especially if there's no budget.
Well,
in
price, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm paying for it, regular. If it's coilover, if you're paying for it, coilover all day.
Thanks.
Because the ride is just, we just did the upgrade in CO2 is night and day.
Especially
I can't wait.
that truck.
Yeah.
It made a huge difference.
Humongous. And even from the rough country to the BDS was an improvement, but now to the coilover, you do not feel like you're driving that truck anymore. And I didn't think it would have that big of a difference. I thought it was all hype. Absolutely.
And it's not just, a lot of people think like, oh, if I'm not off-roading it, I don't need the coilovers. But even driving it down our highways here, the coilover makes a huge difference. The ride quality is just so much better. And we're not saying you got to go out and like buy the best coilover ever, like Kings and Foxes and stuff like that. Even Rough Country introduced coilover system, the Vertex. And those are pretty good too. Jerry has those on his truck, and I wasn't let down by those at all. So I would take coilover.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, but it's the budget.
Right.
Can't get the 50-inch light bar if you get the coilovers.
Nobody does 50-inch light bars anymore, Shawn.
Oh, get the coilovers.
Powder-coated suspension or normal black suspension, and if powder-coated, what color?
So I think I know what you're going to say, because you're all about these show builds and stuff like that, but I would just take the standard finish, because I don't think I would pay the extra money, because I just spent it all on coilovers.
Yeah.
To do that all to the suspension, and then you don't see a lot of it, and if it is like white, like you always do, it gets dirty really fast.
Well, so my answer is the same as yours. If it's a show vehicle, powder coated. If you're gonna drive it 1 weekend a month, and you're gonna actually keep it clean and keep it ceramic coated, then powder paint it. If you're gonna drive it year round, don't, because it looks terrible. It's the same thing with calipers. The minute you color match those calipers, if you don't keep them clean, you shouldn't have done it, because it's a nightmare. And that black will hide all of that road stuff. So I would say if you're gonna drive it, do not powder coat it, because it will end up looking like...
It'll look like half done or older and just kind of
It literally ages the truck significantly within like 6 months if you're running it like that. So I think we agree. So much for you thinking you knew what I thought. What do you think about that?
What do you think I think
That's what I
about
thought.
that? Okay.
Instead of this or that, this should be called Thinks and Thoughts. Here's what I think, and here's what you thought.
Nitto or fuel?
Should we maybe compare like Nitto trail grappler to a fuel mud gripper or something?
Yeah, it would have to be Nitto MT or Fuel MT. And my answer is, I don't know. I love Nittos. I'm on my first set of fuels, and I don't know yet. Somebody pointed out to me that the fuel tread pattern is just the logo.
That was me.
Was that you?
Yes.
So it has me a little suspicious that it might not be designed for when you do get in trouble. And I do plan on using CO2 for hunting and that kind of stuff. So snow, rain, mud, gravel, washouts. It's going to be a real thing, so I'll find out, especially the snow one, because there's nothing worse than frozen lugs and trying to stay on a highway at 70. But I know that my Nittos last year did awesome.
And Nittos seem to last quite a while too, and like same kind of boat. I haven't driven on the fuels to really know if they're any better or any worse than any other tire out there, other than the logo thing. But it's not like, I guess from like a safety standpoint, it's still a DOT approved tire. It's not they like had to cut corners to make it look pretty. And
I'm sure they still watch that spacing and that gapping between the lugs.
Because you need room for water evacuation and all that stuff, so it's not going to hydroplane on you. And it's still like, even though yes, it is an F, it still looks relatively aggressive.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even notice it until you showed me that. I never put two and two together that was the pattern. I just thought it was a unique pattern that they created. But
we'll find out.
This one we have to come back and tell them later.
So this would be a good point where I tell them to hit the subscribe button, and Keaton's gonna like Photoshop it right here.
Yeah. So
do that.
If you guys subscribe, we'll come back and tell you later.
CO2 or K350?
Well, I'm taking the F350.
CO2. No doubt.
It's a diesel. It's turbo. It's torquey. It's huge. 8-inch coilovers. 40s. Crown Series victories.
I mean, you have all that, but it's not CO2. Prove it.
Neither one of them are mine, so I don't have an emotional attachment to either. But I would take the F350. And it's a Ford and it has air-conditioned seats.
I wouldn't know. Banker never lets me drive it.
I drive it a lot.
So I made the mistake of telling Banker that he could build the K350, the Archon truck. And so he didn't put steps on it. He put an 8-inch lift and 40s on it.
Yeah.
So neither of us can get in it. And then he developed a technique of climbing into it so that we can't drive it.
Because Banker is 7 feet tall and just lanky.
Yeah, so he just
like climbs up there and does a flip. So you're picking CO2? The old
like
trusty?
Like when I walk out there, if I get to pick one to take for the weekend or take for the week or to, the K350 is what we just talked about with the SEMA truck. Well, remember your video driving the SEMA truck?
Yes, I remember.
All of those reasons are why I want CO2.
Yeah.
CO2 can turn into a parking spot. I can see if I've run any children over. You still might hit them because you can't see that well, but you'll know.
You'll know.
The K350 you can't. Like all of those things you should, like I can make a decent turn. I can pull into a semi-normal parking spot.
Yeah.
It's, CO2's at the brink of being easily daily driven. The K350 goes over the edge.
Due to a lot of modification for your fenders. But with it done, it's...
Well, just, I mean like the 6-inch lift.
Yeah.
The 37s instead of the 40s. The 5 miles per gallon. That all just makes it a really good daily driver.
No, the 5 miles per gallon part, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So what you're up to now with the new tune?
I don't know. I've only been pulling trailers, which pulls nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Archon truck only gets like somewhere between 11 and 13, depending, so.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine all that.
Yeah, it's rough. I think we agreed on more things this time than I thought we would have, which is kind of impressive, so.
Good job, young grasshopper. You're finally becoming me.
Yes. Actually, I don't know if I want that. I'm not sure.
It's very scary.
If you guys have any questions that you want answered for me, Shawn, anybody here, drop them in the comments below. We'll put them in the next episode. Always check us out, customassist.com, wheels, tires, suspension. That's all we do. I think that's the spiel. You have to say like, share, subscribe.
Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and if you ask me a good enough question, I'll come back next time.
Peace.